All right, when you get your first job, you got one of these coming for you, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh, so
One of
did
these.
you make it?
Yeah, I made two of them. Yeah. No, these are all custom.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. I only like go to what's that? Oh, dude. This right here is coupon special.
Oh, it's cute.
That's what's up.
So you can think about objects and arrays like an empty bucket, and you're putting things into it. Arrays are kind of like a list. They automatically get an index. Their index starting at 0. An object is a little bit more organized and a little bit more powerful, in my opinion, to do a key value pair. So you can organize it and say like fill, and then put more data inside. And objects and arrays both have their use cases where they're used. But the one thing about objects there, you cannot have two of the same key inside.
Okay.
But arrays can hold the same item. Objects are key value pairs, and arrays are like lists of data. Objects can even hold arrays or other objects. Arrays can hold objects or other arrays. So they're just data types in the end. If I say obj equals A, and we'll just maybe make it 0, B, 1, C, 2. This in the front is a key, and it can map to a value. And
Okay.
this value can be anything that we learned from last time. String, number, Boolean. And now if we learn when we learn two more, they can also equal objects or arrays. So we can say B equals true and C equals C. All right. So that's what an object looks like with 3 key value pairs. Under number 1, I have an exercise. Can you try to make an object with 3 key value pairs? So 3 keys and 3 values.
So I got
Okay.
string, number, and Boolean.
All right, great. And maybe for record, my opinion, it would be like wins and losses. So I would do something like a string, like 15 and 1 or something like that.
Okay.
I feel like when you're coding, like even the keys and everything, they should be very semantic. Like it should be very descriptive of what you're doing. So maybe I would just put like wins and then 15 if this is
And
losses.
losses. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. I don't, it's just good practice, and it helps you, like you won't get yelled at later at the job.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you have a team here that's an object. The mascot is a bear. Wins 15, losses 1, and travel false. Great. Great. Awesome. You understand everything up to here, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'll just show you an example of where you'd use an object. Is cafe.naver.com. Let's do something like this. Okay, so I know this is a Korean website. It looks this right here, it can be made with an object, right? There's a title here, there's a description here, there's likes, there's comments, and there's a picture, right?
Yeah.
So if I open this up and I kind of go to the network and I refresh, let me see here. So maybe right here, can you see my screen?
Oh, geez. Yeah, yeah. So we got like the item
maybe,
object.
yeah, maybe this would be so this is a whole object, right? This right here. And then the type is an article, so it's telling you that it's a card on the website, like an article. And then the item that's within it, it has stuff like rank, cafe ID, article ID, the name of the cafe, and all this kind of stuff. Comment count, like count, and a whole bunch of data. So they're like one-word descriptive kind of keys that help the server talk to the front end, the client, and you can put the data in the right spots. That's how it kind of works. Like Facebook, Instagram, they all work in the same kind of way. Like they get a JSON object, and then the front end's job is to kind of prettify the JSON object and put it on the screen. Maybe you can open up the inspector on like some of your favorite websites, and then go to the network tab. You'll find the menus. You'll find like these iPhone 15 Pro Max. You'll find all the kind of text within this, which is pretty cool. So if you just find it, it'll be really interesting for you, I think.
Okay.
And I'll show you how to do it again. Do you have a favorite website or something?
Geez, I'm trying to think of like what I go to.
Let's stop being internet pirates for a second. So we made an object with 3 key value pairs. So if I were to make let's make const shoe, what keys do you think you'd need to define a shoe?
Geez, color, size,
Color, okay,
uh, like
size,
uh, male or female, kids, like could
gender,
be gender,
age,
uh, age, yeah, if
brand.
it's brand, the price. I guess sale might be something else, but just the price.
Price would be good.
Um,
Okay.
and I guess like that issue I have every time at ABC Mart, the shoe store here, is like, is it actually in stock? Like, I don't know if that's gonna be
Okay.
there or not. Like,
You
if
can,
there's,
you can say quantity, right? So like quantity would be a number. Color would probably be an array because it has to be like there could be a black one, there could be a red one, be a brown one. And size, maybe you'd put like a range, or like you could just you could list all the sizes like 250, 255, 260, whatever, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then a gender could be like just this is a male shoe. Age, maybe you'd have like another place where you'd say like const age types or something. And you say like adult male. And this would be like a case where you use like an array. Adult male, um, adult female,
I see, and kind of run down the list of
yeah, kids, um, or
boys and
something like
girls.
this, right? Yeah, and then inside of this here, you could be like age types at index 0, right?
I
Because
see.
this shoe is maybe like a adult male shoe, and then maybe this would be like Nike. Price would be $100, and quantity maybe there's 100 of them, and then maybe you have like a discount where you give like 30% or something.
Okay.
Maybe this could be a whole like product. Is this kind of like coming together a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. I guess the one thing I have is for those arrays that you have within the object. Do I
This
have to? Yeah. So the array for color that you have, do I
Mhm.
need to define that color as a separate object outside of that object, or do I need to define what black is within the shoe, within the object of shoe?
So I think I'm understanding the question. Like if there's like a color black shoe and there's more detail to the black shoe.
Yeah,
Um,
like so, like if it's I'm trying to think because like right now it's a string, but
mhm,
maybe like if I were going to define black like with RGB,
mhm.
would I need to define it within the const shoe, or do I need to start like a new const outside?
So it's case by case really.
Okay.
Like it's very simple. Like it's an all black shoe or something.
Mhm.
Usually, like in a real case scenario, you'd have like so we've all heard of IDs, right?
Mhm.
So an ID would be like, I don't know, like some weird string, right? That cannot be duplicated,
Yeah.
right? Maybe you'd have another object called shoe options, right?
Mhm.
Those options would be like maybe options for this ID in another table.
Okay.
And then there would be something called like options inside of here. And then there'd be like an array. And then that would be like an array of objects. And then you call it like name black. And this one would have an ID too, right?
I
Um,
see.
then this would maybe you'd have put like RGB here. And then this would be like wait, what is black? It's like 0, 0, 0, I think, right? In my opinion, if it was gonna be red, I'd make another object here. I'd make some weird ID like this. Let's just say
Mhm.
name and then red and then RGB. I forget. I think red is the first one. and this ID would be mapped to red in a real case scenario.
Okay.
Let's just get through these 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll end this Zoom call, and then we'll start the next one.
Okay. Sounds
Let's
good.
just make an array with 3 items. Can you do that real quick? All right, cool. Let's go on to line 71 and just make an object with an array as a value. You forgot the equals sign up
Oh,
here.
equals.
And then make an array with objects as values.
Make an array computer parts, maybe?
Before you do, just like free flow it,
Mhm.
because the object, you have to kind of think about the structure as well. So
Mhm.
I would, in my opinion, before we start, I would be like, okay, this object, okay, it's gonna have 3 keys. What are the 3 keys for computer parts? Maybe we'll put name as
Mhm.
one of the keys. Maybe price.
Watts,
Okay, watts. All right.
wattage, maybe?
And this could be like a number. Price can be a number. I would kind of think about it like this before I
Mhm.
started writing the objects out a little bit, so I could kind of like do it a little bit faster than like on the fly, my
Mhm.
opinion.
But I want multiple objects inside of this array, right? I'm not entirely sure if it's this.
This is correct. So you'd make 3 objects like this,
Okay.
right? And one more down here. And this would be make an array with objects as values. So you'd have 3 objects in this array, right?
Hmm.
And then maybe one could be RAM. Price would be like 10 watts. I don't know this one. I'm sorry.
I don't know either.
I don't know. And then another computer part. What is another computer part?
SSD. Let's go over that. Let's just assume there's one in there.
Okay, awesome. So let's use computer parts array and do number 5. Make an object with an array of objects as a value.
Make an object with an array of objects as a value. Make an object.
So maybe
And
you can
use computer parts.
yeah, so maybe you can make like a computer parts store object, and then you can put like inventory, and then you can put computer parts. I'm gonna start it off for you. Let's do computer parts store, and that's gonna be our object.
I'm gonna do the array with an array of objects as a value.
Right.
Couldn't it be this? Like actual computer parts?
Yeah, sure.
So then I could use RAM, SSD.
Okay, I see what you're doing. You're trying to map this this name here, right? Okay, what I meant was just with an array of objects as a value. So you could just use computer parts here actually, just like this. Make an object. So we have an object
Mm-hmm.
with an array of objects as a value. So this is an array of objects.
My array. Okay.
Yeah, and then me personally, actually, when you just put computer parts, this works too. Because ever since ES6, if a variable name is the name of a key in an object, it maps it
Oh, automatic. Okay.
automatically. So that's pretty cool. Like this, if you logged it out, right? So
Mhm.
Computer parts store equals computer parts store. So you see how it says computer parts store, there's a key. There's a
I
key
see now.
computer parts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the magic of ES6, but it would be the same as if you put a colon here, computer parts, and this is the exact same.
Okay.
But my opinion, I would have put inventory, something like this.
I see.
Here, let's just break that down. So number 1, let's make an object. Okay.
Okay.
2, make value with array of objects. So, an array of objects is what we created for computer parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted computer parts as a value. So earlier we put like 1,000 Nike as a value. We put size. We put this 250, 255,
Mhm.
265 as a value.
That's my array,
Yeah,
or that's my okay.
that's an array of numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted an array of objects as a value. This is an array
Mhm.
of objects, right? Like name, price, watts is one object.
Mm-hmm.
Name, price, watts is another object right here. So this is an array of objects, right? So this is a data, right? Array. Array is the data, and what I want inside of the array are objects, and I want it as a value within this object. If we go back here to shoe, ID is a string. ID is a string, right? Here on line 55. Yeah. So the value of ID is a string, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the value of color, let me put colors. Colors is an array of strings, right?
Right.
Okay. The size is an array of numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to put here like I don't know, like season discounts,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I could put an array of objects, right? Like right now, if it's season summer,
Mm-hmm.
you can put discount rate at 0.4. And this would be an array of objects, right?
Okay.
Season winter rate 0.7. I don't know, something like this.
Again, I have my key, season discounts, and my value. My whole value is now that array versus my season discount being 0.3, like just regular discount. Because
Right.
discount is my key, my value is 0.03. Season discounts, my value is this whole array. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's what was messing me up, I think. Just that wording, and I wasn't following.
As long as you got it 100% clear, because you're gonna see like a lot of vocabulary like this
Mhm.
moving forward.
Okay.
So right now, if you don't hammer it out, you're gonna get more confused later on. So can we complete this like computer parts store? Like I never gave you a key in this part, right? And it was kind of like ambiguous. It was just like, hey, make a value, but make the key whatever you want. So on computer parts store, can you fill out more information about the computer parts store? Like maybe it'll have an address, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a key of address, and then the value would be what would you expect the value to be in address?
Just another string.
Right, right. So let's just put Soul or something. Oh, okay, whatever. 123 Oak. Is there no street or avenue or lane?
You never been to 123 Oak? How do you not know, man? I don't know. It's Soul.
What about phone number?
That have to be a string too, because I have like I'm doing
Dash.
dashes. Even I guess if you want like who's managing this particular location, like Steve is.
All right.
I'm trying to think of something that would be another array there, but
Array of objects, maybe employees.
yeah, employees.
And then maybe just put 2 employees with the name and age. Wait, an array of objects as a value.
Name, phone, and
Age.
age. 555-8989. I'll be really happy if somebody knows who Mark, Tom, and Travis is.
That's my favorite band.
Really, right on this. There you go. Oh, geez, because I want to say I have a key with a value that is an array, but that's not how we've been saying it.
Array of objects.
An array of objects.
That looks really good. And so we have an inventory, and that is an array of objects. You have an address that's a string, a phone number that's a string, manager, Steve, employees with an object, with an array of objects, and you have employees. Cool. Did leave 2 references that I want you to read. It's just the MDN Mozilla Docs there's a bunch of methods for objects and a bunch of
Mhm.
methods for arrays. And I
Okay.
think we did like I told you two of them, like find and filter over the
Mhm.
weekend. But I just want to show you, like, if you look at the terminal here and we run this, and say I don't know what computer part store is, right? But I want to see the keys. I could do something like, if I wrap it in object.keys and I use the computer part store as an argument, it'll just give me the keys as an array. So if you see, you have your computer part store has inventory, address, phone, manager, employee.
I see.
Okay,
Oh,
so
dang. Object keys. Okay.
you have object.values, which will give you the values. So this one only gives you an array of the values, right?
Ah, I see. Okay.
And then you have one more that I use a lot, entries. So entries will give you an array, the first index being the key, and then the second index being the value. Really useful because there are a lot more methods to use with arrays than objects. Like filter, map, for each. An array is iterable. And you'll find out more about that when we get into for loops. But an array is much more easy to look through one by one than an object is. An object is a little bit more descriptive, and an array, you get to kind of start at 0 and go to the end, and then you can say, hey, if the name is Steve, give me all the information about Steve. Because I don't
see.
care about the rest.
Okay.
So we will get there. But arrays are much more easier to work with, but objects are can hold much more data.
Okay.
So like in our tool belt now, we have logging, we have console.log, we have variables like constant let, we have
Mhm.
data types, string, number, and boolean, and now we have these non-primitives that are objects and arrays. And we have operators like plus and compares. That's basically all coding is. And now we have the if else and for loop that are going to help us play around with that data.
Okay.